guys, it's me, Paulo from Island Life. Uh, Today I want to talk about 5 things there is different between Canada and Portugal. So I've been here for about a year, so I think I'm able to talk about these things now from my own personal experience. So without any further delay, let's get this video on the way. So number one. Number one, it's the weather. I find there's a big difference in the weather between Canada and Portugal, as everybody knows. But one thing that also comes with the weather is once you have nice sunny days, your lifestyle tends to change a bit. Because now you do most of your activities outdoors. You can go out, walk on the beach, go swimming, go fishing, go bike riding, go golfing, all those kind of things that most outdoor enthusiasts like to do. So with that, once you move from Canada, which the weather there is extreme, you can have extremely cold days, especially in the winter. The winter there tend to be a bit long. And you're coming from kind of living an indoor kind of lifestyle, and you get here to Portugal, and now you have nice weather year-round basically, and you somehow start changing your habits. You tend to do more things outside. You go more for walks. You go walk by the beach, even just walk around the neighborhood, like I made my previous video. If you haven't checked that out, please check that out. And you can just walk around your neighborhood, and you just feel different. And also your body gets used to your body. You want to walk outside, you want to experience the outdoor weather, and you start feeling different. You really do. So number one on the list is the weather. The weather is the main factor between these two countries. And number two is driving. I lived in Canada for 32 years, and I used to work in Toronto, and I used to commute from Mississauga to Toronto back and forth every day. I did that, and there the traffic is quite congested. As you can expect to be, Toronto has 3 million plus people in the city at night, and during the day it goes up to 7 million. So as you can imagine, it's a pretty big city, and it's a lot of people, a lot of cars, and also a lot of bikes. So it's quite congested. In addition to that, I also did Uber. I drove Uber for last year or so that I was in Canada, and I used to go to Toronto quite a bit. Driving in Toronto on rush hour is just not fun. So when you're coming from that driving environment, which is a style of driving in Canada, which is quite hectic, very stressful, you have no room for error, you need to be alert all the time, and you drive from that and you get here to Portugal, which you're going to find it strange a little bit. Everybody's laid back. Everybody gives you very courteous. Everybody kind of gives you the right of way. Everybody waits for pedestrians to cross. Nobody honks the horn. Yeah, I've been parked on the side of the main road, and cars actually slow down as they see me enter the car. They actually slow down far away because they're just thinking this car is going to leave. And they give me all this room so you can get right back in the road. You'll not see that in Canada. At least I haven't seen it since I've been there. So the driving style between these two countries are very different. And here, once you get here and you start getting used to the driving style, you're somehow that wired up that used to be when you used to drive in Canada, it kind of fades away and you become more relaxed. You enjoy the ride, you enjoy the views, and you actually start enjoying again just driving. So I find big difference in those two things. And the third one, it's housing. Believe it or not, the houses here are somewhat different from Canada. Not in style, obviously, each one their own, but being inside the house. Even though Portugal has a very nice weather, temperature tend to be way warmer here in the wintertime than Canada, But inside the houses, actually the houses here are colder than Canada. Believe it or not, that's true. Not sure the reason why behind it, but I think to do with the way they build houses here. The houses here are built in mind for the summertime, not necessarily for the winter. And when you stay inside, it's 10, 12 degrees outside. Inside feels very humid and cold. Even though you have a heat, you can put the heat on, and temperature will come up to whatever setting you have in the thermostat. But the moment you put off the heat, it just dissipates and goes away. The temperature drops down fairly quickly. Unlike Canada, the houses there are designed to, for the extreme weather conditions. When you set your temperature in a house in Canada, let's say 22 degrees or whatever, the house tends to stay at that temperature. Because the house is designed like that, it has central air, has central heating, and coming on. And when the heating goes off, it stays off for 3-4 hours. Here, not like that. Here, if you put the heating on, it will literally stay on almost non-stop, just because the house is not built for the winter. So you're putting heat into the houses, but at the same way dissipating through the windows, through the doors, and through everything else, I guess. So basically, the difference between these two countries indoors is you will experience colder houses in Portugal than you do in Canada. That's my own personal experience. I've been experiencing that, and I thought I'd point that out to all of you. So, and the fourth one is obviously safety. Even though Canada is ranked number 6 on a ranking list for safety countries in the world, Portugal is actually ranked number 3. So here is quite safer than Canada, and you find that as soon as you walk about. Let's say, for instance, if somebody's going to an ATM machine, they don't look around you to see if there's people around. Like in Canada, we do that. Here, people just don't do that. They go to an ATM machine, could be 5-6 people right beside them, right there, and they pay no attention. So they're sure of themselves that they're going to go to the ATM, take their money out, and nobody's going to bother them. In the beginning, I can observe that. And also, in general, I noticed that with children, like couples who have children here, they trust their kids to be out and about and play outside like freely, as it should be. So I find Portugal is way safer to raise kids than Canada is. So safety-wise, Canada is safe, but not as safe as Portugal. And number five is house expenses. Well, Portugal rents are expensive, and if you go to Lisbon, if you go to Porto, to the main cities, rent can be very expensive relative to your income in Portugal. If you're to compare also percentage-wise of your salary, either Portugal or Canada, actually Portugal is more expensive than Canada. If you're to rent an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment in Lisbon, will cost you maybe $800 to $900, a decent unit, which might eat up 50% or more of your salary. That's not the case in Canada. Canada, if you were to rent a place in downtown Toronto, will not eat 50% of your salary. Maybe 35, 40, but definitely not 50%. And obviously, if you move outside the skirts of the city, you have the same criteria for both countries. But one thing there is noticeable difference between these two countries is if you own a property. Either you own a house in Canada or in Portugal, what's the difference between the two? The big difference that I see, it's the property taxes. In Canada, what you pay on a monthly basis for a home in Canada, you would pay in Portugal that same amount or so for the entire year. Those are the two biggest differences that I see or that I have experienced. When it comes to house consumption of water, gas, and not hydro, you already call it electricity, it's very similar. As a matter of fact, Portugal is more expensive. Electricity is more expensive in Portugal than it is in Canada. Even though your monthly bill is less in Portugal than would be in Canada, but it's for a reason, and I'll explain why. If you were to use the consumption, it's called kilowatts per hour, is what do you pay in Canada for kilowatts per hour? That is your consumption. So what you pay in Canada is about 12 to 14 cents per kilowatt. In Portugal, you pay 22 to 24 cents or so in Portugal. So how is it in Portugal we pay less? Well, because we consume way less. And the reason for that is in Portugal, the lifestyle is different than Canada. And it's because, the weather is a factor. You stay home less in Portugal, you tend to go out, you eat out, the appliances are less on than they would be in Canada per se. And also the weather in Canada tends to, you need more heating and more cooling than you need in Portugal. So because of that, even though it's more expensive, the electricity in Portugal, but your monthly bill might be 60 or 70% that what you would pay for the same home in Canada. So those are the comparisons that I've seen so far. I hope you find this video useful, and I'm trying to put content out there for you that hopefully you find it enjoyable and of same value. I'm trying to put out content that has value to you as the user. And if you do find that my videos have some value, please hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching.